Are you thinking about pursuing a sales position? My next guest, a former sales intern turned sales superstar, will be talking about landing a sales job through interview preparation here on Early Career Unlocked. Welcome, Rachel.
Hi, Aaliyah. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here and I'm so honored. Thank you.
So, we're excited to have you on the show, especially about what to expect going into a sales interview. So, before we jump into the advice portion of things, tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah, my name is Rachael. So I'm currently at Kiteworks. I am an SMB AE. I came from University of Maryland, go Terps. And I recently have resided in North Carolina, Durham area, but I am originally from Bel Air, Maryland.
I know Rachel when I recruited her for another job at another company, and seeing her go from student to now an account executive. I'm just really proud of you, first of all. I know that sounds dorky, but I'm really proud of you for the journey that you went through and being here on the show to share your advice. So, before again we jump into the advice portion of things, we're going to talk about before you go into a sales interview. So, how are you knowledgeable in this topic?
Yeah, so of course, I mean, having you recruit for me at McAfee was amazing and interning there. And then from going there, I went into Tanium, kind of working my way up from an MDR all the way to a BDR, and then moving into this account exec role. So I think I have some expertise on the sales side.
Wonderful. And so, to our viewers, not long ago, she was in your shoes. She was a student and she started as an intern, got hired full time at another company, and she's working her way up in her career. So, again, I'm glad that you're here to share your advice and your experience. So, what three pieces of advice can you offer our viewers when it comes to preparing for a sales interview?
Yeah, so don't be afraid to reach out. And that's my biggest thing. Actually, when I went into Tanium, funny story, I got declined the job, which is just it happens, and sometimes a lot of people don't really get to see your personality or who you are through a resume. So I had reached out to someone that worked at the company, and I just asked for an introduction. I asked for a referral and they gave it to me and actually went through and got hired, and they said I was one of the best interviews they ever had.
And
So
that worked.
yeah,
Your
I mean that's
networking
cool.
worked.
Right. And so I'm not afraid if I look at a job application or anything that I see online, a job posting, and I go in and I see who the recruiter is and I can see who works there. And if there's anyone that I see that's in the recruiting position or maybe even sales, I ask for that referral and I ask for some time. And you have to be a go getter in sales anyway. So they love when people are able to just kind of bridge the gap and talk to them. And then my next piece of advice is asking questions. So asking questions, I think that's a huge thing. And just when you go into the interview and knowing what questions you're going to ask and preparing for any sales questions in particular, I went in kind of, not really researching before and realizing that I wasn't having as great success with my interviews until I did do the research and was asking, what are the top performers doing at your company today? How are you getting them prepared to succeed? What is my 30, 60, 90-day plan and how are you going to help me get there? And I think those are really big things that employers want to see you be asking. And then my next thing is just getting involved. A lot of people don't know that employers do look at what you're doing outside on your day-to-day tasks, what you're doing after college, and what you even did in college is a big impact. So maybe getting into sports, if you have any sports background, they love to see that competitive drive. They love to see teamwork. If you're volunteering, that does show teamwork and that shows that you're getting out there and doing something and changing things and you love to just kind of go away from the norm. And I think that's huge in sales.
Thank you, Rachel. I love all of those points, especially number one, networking before you apply is like getting a head start in a race and being able to open that conversation, and it worked for you. So being able to network is that's wonderful. And then reaching out to folks and establishing who you are is giving you an opportunity to sort of build your personal brand with a person before the interview. And I know my experience as a recruiter, especially when you're talking about questions, I love when candidates ask me questions because it shows a couple things. One, that you're truly interested in the role. Two, that you did your research. And then three, asking questions tells me that you're trying to clarify some things or some uncertainty that you have about the job that makes me feel like, okay, you're really investing your time here, that you really want to be here.
Right. Right.
So, great advice. Three things you need to know about preparing for a sales interview. One, don't be afraid to reach out. Two, ask questions. Three, get involved. So, Rachel, before we go and to wrap things up, do you have anything else you'd like to offer to our viewers today?
Yeah, I'd love to just say, just be yourself. Going into the interview, a lot of people think that you're supposed to be this, you know, wooden board, and you're not really supposed to have a personality, and you're supposed to be very, business oriented. But a lot of people love to get to know the real you and see who they're really going to be working with and hiring in the company. So just be yourself, be confident in who you are, and go in there and just rock the interview.
Great advice, Rachel. Well, thank you so much for being on the show today and providing such great advice to our viewers.
Thank you, Aaliyah, so much for having me. I really appreciate it, and I loved doing this, so I'll definitely be back.
Oh, wonderful. I love it. To our viewers, subscribe for more career advice from industry experts every week here on Early Career Unlocked.